God, this thing is horrendous. The SU-2-122 Premium Tier 5 Russian tank destroyer. It looks hideous. Absolutely disgusting. Large superstructure on a 𝘚-34 chassis mounting a twin 122mm howitzers. Because reasons. What the hell are you shooting at? Buildings? A battleship? This thing will be picked on by AT infantry and tanks nonetheless. It's super vulnerable. You need infantry support with this thing, and the only targets you're shooting at is like a bunker with only like machine guns covering it. But if somebody pulls out a Panzerschreck, you're practically dead. What the hell is this thing good for? God. Well, it doesn't have that much armor, I guess. Well, it's good for machine gun fire, but you're not surviving AT shells or bazookas. No, you're not. So, it's a paper tank, obviously. You will be high on acid making this thing in real life. No way. Premium tank makes more credit and crew XP. It does fit all the high tier Russian tank destroyers, especially with radio operators, which is non-existent. So it's like the KV-4 KTTS. You have to train a separate radio operator to make this thing work, so that's not fun. But if you have your Object 268s or Object 704s, ISUs, you can train the double loader with this vehicle, so that's nice. But that means you have to survive and actually deal damage, which is going to be hard with the high explosive nerf and the double barrel aspect of a derp gun. So you have no pen, but you deal pretty hefty damage if you manage to pen. So basically, this thing is a gold shell spamming piece of crap, like the Cobra or the Caliban. You're forced to use gold shell to be effective. God, otherwise you're memeing with high explosives. Oh god. Alright, let's take a look at the firepower of the twin barrels. So about 11.5 seconds of reload time, which is a little bit slow, but you cannot put a rammer on this thing, so it's slower than the actual 122s for the KV-1 or the SU-85. So kinda but you do have two of them, and between each shot is 5 seconds, so you have two shells, but you have to wait 5 seconds before firing the other gun. Salvo preparation is 3 seconds, so you have to lock on and make sure you have the target for 3 seconds. And afterwards, you have to wait 3 seconds for the lock time, so technically it's 14.5 seconds of reload time before you get the shell after the double shot. But 61mm of pen, not great for high explosive, so you have to use the high explosive anti-tank at 140. It's a gold shell sink. 6 degrees of gun depression, 15 elevation. Gun moves pretty decently in the socket, but it's only 8 degrees to each side. So some artilleries have better gun traverse arc than this thing. It's not the worst. It's not like a Churchill gun carriage. No, that thing is terrible. It's like 5 degrees to each side, but it's not that good. It's even worse than the SU-100Y. So you're moving the hull practically constantly if you're adjusting to like medium tanks or light tanks. You'll get flanked. 2.88 seconds of aim time. It's okay for a derp gun. And 0.46 accuracy is actually not half bad for a derp. Usually with the 122 derp guns at tier 5, they have about 0.57 accuracy or so. So it meets it practically. If you manage to pen, then not bad DPM, but it's about 2000 with high explosive anti-tank. So gold shell sink. Yeah, very much gold shell sink. Yeah, about 1900 DPM, never mind, but with a good crew and vents, yeah. still, it's at tier 5. Nobody plays tier 5s anyways. You cannot finish your missions or other stuff, daily mission. Well, you could finish daily missions, but you cannot finish some of the missions they offer with like camo or emblems. But a lot of the stuff starts at tier 6, like Battle Pass 2. Ugh. So tier 5s are just whatever. But shell velocity for high explosive anti-tank is only 412 meters per second. That is slow. What about high explosive? 515, which is about the average for a low tier derp gun. But the gold shell cost 20 times almost as the normal high explosive. Holy crap. 270 or 257 compared to about 5,000 credit cost. That's 20 times almost the amount of price for one high explosive anti-tank round. Jesus, you will not make money if you're spamming all gold shell. No, you're not. But you won't do damage with a high explosive nerf. God dang it. Well, dispersion factor is actually not half bad for a low tier traversing constantly or hull moving constantly vehicle. So that's pretty nice. Also, turret traverse is only for the gun moving in its socket, so it's still decent, but it is a derp gun. You have to lead your shot. You're not penetrating stuff unless you're using gold. You don't have the accuracy most of the time, but it's a clown fiesta with this gun. So, oh god. You only have 40 rounds too, so it's not like the KV-1 spamming about 70-ish rounds of the 122 or something like that, but ugh. Alright, I guess the gun is a meme. Let's see the armor on this thing, which there are none. Well, 480 health. You get high rolled with your own high explosive, so that's not fun. 45 millimeters of hull armor all the way around, and the superstructure is also 45-ish. It's all green. Oh, 60. Never mind for the superstructure. 45 for the hull front. You're not stopping any shells. A tier 3 will penetrate. But then again, voice crack. But then again, tier 3s will never see tier 5s anymore. So because of the matchmaking change, well, tier 4s will still penetrate. Definitely. God, 60 millimeters. I mean, if this thing was like 100 millimeter for the superstructure, then we could be talking, but no. No. Voice crack. Side armor, 30. Okay. Side of the hull, 45. Top of the roof, 15. Ah, what a delicious target for a leaf blower or a FE-304. Delicious. Even with the nerf M44, you'll get picked on. Only 15 at the freaking roof of this thing. It has no armor. 15 at the rear end, so high explosive will go through the rear end pretty well, but God. Alright, mobility wise, weighs about 34 tons, which is hefty. And horsepower per ton ratio is 14.5, top speed of 45, reverse of 14, hull traverse not half bad, 36.5. So it is the T-34 chassis, but it weighs a little bit more, like a lot more than a SU-85I based on the Panzer III chassis. So terrain resistance wise, closer to a larger medium tank, like light heavy also. Let's just compare with the SU-85I based on the Panzer III chassis. Yeah, not as good. Terrain resistance and horsepower per ton ratio is actually about the same, even though it weighs like 50% more than the SU-85I. That is surprising. But you have less health, surprisingly less hull armor, even though you have a supposedly stronger superstructure. Dispersion is actually a little bit better, but not as good accuracy. 0.4 on the 85 millimeter. That is not good. slower, better gun depression, not as good gun traverse arc, and it carries a lot less shells. So, it's a meme. It's so bad. You also have to train the radio operator position. That is wait. I don't think the SU-85I has a radio operator. I have to check. I don't think so. Only the KV-4 KTTS requires you to train a radio operator separately. Yeah, there's no radio operator. Yeah, that's nice. Finally. Recently, I played this thing. Have to train up a KV-4 a KTTS specific radio operator. Because there's none. There's none for the actual tank to shore line. None of them have one. Alright. And finally, moving on to concealment. It's 13.7. So it's like a medium tank, like a Patton, not like an actual tank to shore. Actual tank to shores have about 20 at low tier, which is surprisingly high for a camouflage rating. Yeah, 22 for the SU-85 and about 20 for the SU-85I. So 13.7 feels like a large medium tank. It's worse than the T-34, so about the same as a Sherman or Patton-esque of a camo, but it also has no view range, 280. That is terrible. I mean, the blind KV-1 has about 310. This thing is absolutely blind. It is large. It is not in charge. It cannot penetrate. You cannot put field modification because that only starts at tier 6, so no field mods, obviously. Yeah, there's no field mods. You only get equipments. And you cannot put a rammer on this. What? You could? What the hell is this thing do? When? Oh, hell yeah, I'll put a rammer on this thing. What kind of nonsense was I spewing? You could put a rammer on this thing? That is surprising. That is great if you could. Well, obviously vents to help out with everything, but maybe better accuracy? Better, well, aim time is already not half bad for a derp gun, but having better accuracy might be worthwhile. But then again, 0.43 is practically the same as 0.45, so there's not that much difference, I guess. Well, it turned into like a D25T-esque of accuracy with the IS 122, but this is a derp gun. You could put a turbocharger to make yourself go a little bit faster, but I don't think you'll put optics or binocular telescope. You're reliant on your teammates to spot for you, so you're not spotting for yourself. You could put better camo, but I think that's kind of wasted, so might as well just hide behind a building if you're being spotted. So might as well go with improved aiming or better aim time with enhanced gun lane drive. So one of these, I think. Maybe that. But holy crap, this thing could mount a rammer? Alright, we'll mount a rammer for some reason. That's a first, right? Is that a bug? That's a bug. Because the actual double barrel tanks could never fit a rammer. I will obviously put a rammer on these things. No, they could not. You cannot put a rammer on a ST2 or IS-3-2. Never in a million years you could put a rammer on a double barrel system. But apparently, they didn't do that. Or error check. So you could put a rammer on this thing. And unfortunately, it's not at tier 6, so no special. Well, starting at tier 8 gets the special slot. Or tier 6 gets the special slot. Tier 8 gets 2 of them, but no field modification, no special slot equipment designation, so no bonus there. But you're playing at tier 5, so no battle pass points, no mission completion other than the daily missions and the premium daily missions, but it has a rammer. So that's a plus, but God, this thing is so bad. you need to train the radio operator. It's not going to have brothers in arms right off the bat. You have to train it unless you already play enough of the KV4, KTTS. So originally I rated this thing at, let's see, what the hell is this thing? It's been a few months, right? It's been August 26. That's when the super test review came out. And I rated it at 2 out of 10. Okay. Oh yeah, 2 out of 10 is well, they buff the salvo prep time from 4 seconds to 3. So that's a plus. A little bit better accuracy. Oh, well, 100% crew doesn't do that much, but look, still pretty bad. Sawn off mini fridge. Yeah, it's a 2 out of 10 still. It is pretty bad. You have no camo. You have to train a radio operator separately for this vehicle. You have no penetration because of the high explosive nerf. You have alright mobility, but not the fastest, so you're not getting anywhere fast. At least the dispersion is not half bad, so you won't miss technically when you're traversing the hall. As bad as a Grill 15, but that's not saying much. You could ram somebody, I guess. You could. It's a 2 out of 10. It is. You play this thing for the memes, and there's going to be a poor, sorry chap that's going to drive out into the front of this gun. Like 1 in 100 battles. Sure, they'll drive out into the front of your guns, and you'll double shot 2 high explosive anti-tank rounds, and they'll die. Feels bad, man, but rarely that will happen, and they will complain how broken this thing is. But yeah, if you manage the pin, it's good. But this is basically artillery. Playing artillery that you're not playing artillery, practically. You're artillerying high explosive across the map. You cannot be exposed, otherwise you're dead. You're really dead. It is prone to artillery fire. It is prone to every gun at tier 4 and above, which is all the guns you'll see. Yeah, 2 out of 10. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's a 2 out of 10. Well, there you go, folks. The SU-2-122 filler, likely for this year's holiday ops. So, collecting dust. Or, how much is the gold cost if you're getting duplicates of this thing? Oh, they haven't changed that yet. It's only 100 gold. Well, if it's like any other gold costing premium tier 5s, like say, wow, the SU-85i is 2,300? That's not half bad if you're getting a duplicate of it in holiday ops, but the SU-85i is a special tier 5, whereas normally they cost about 1,500 or so. So let's see a medium tank, like Sherman improved. 1,700 or so. So yeah, if it has a high gold cost, maybe it's worthwhile to get duplicates of it. Maybe. But still a 2 out of 10 for a tank. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.